As November draws to a close, the German landscape is marked by bare trees, misty mornings, and a chill that lingers in the air. The countryside, once vibrant with autumn colors, now settles into a more subdued palette of grays and browns, signaling the end of the year's colder months. With the arrival of Advent, towns and cities across Germany begin to glow with festive lights and decorations, creating a warm contrast to the cool, damp air. This period marks not just the start of the holiday season, but also a significant transition in the weather. The persistent cold, which has dominated much of November, is now being challenged by milder, moisture-laden air sweeping in from the Atlantic. This is a classic late autumn pattern change, as the jet stream shifts and allows warmer air masses to move eastward into Central Europe. The effects of this change won't be felt evenly across the country. Western and northern regions will notice the warming trend first, with temperatures rising and frost retreating. Meanwhile, the south and east will hold on to the cold a bit longer, resulting in a sharp temperature divide that can be seen on weather maps and felt on the ground. This clash of air masses brings its own set of hazards. Where the milder air overrides frozen ground, freezing rain becomes a real risk, turning roads and sidewalks into dangerous ice rinks. Drivers and pedestrians alike need to be extra cautious during this transitional phase. The Atlantic Ocean is now more active, sending a series of low-pressure systems toward Germany. These systems push out the entrenched cold, raise temperatures, and bring wetter, windier conditions. For most regions, this means the end of deep frosts and a noticeable shift toward milder, unsettled weather. By the first Advent weekend, mild weather will dominate much of the country. Christmas markets, which are a beloved tradition, will be more comfortable for visitors, even if the classic snowy backdrop is missing. However, the milder air also means an increased risk of wind and rain, so festive plans may need to adapt. The strengthening jet stream overhead signals that calm, settled weather is giving way to a more dynamic pattern. Stronger winds and the potential for storms are on the horizon as December begins, with rapid changes possible from day to day. As Germany moves into this new phase, it's important to stay alert. The coming weeks will bring unsettled conditions, quick shifts in temperature, and the possibility of severe weather. Whether you're traveling, commuting, or simply enjoying the festive season, keep an eye on the forecast and be prepared for whatever the changing weather may bring. As meteorological autumn closes, Germany's average temperature stands at about 9.8 degrees, warmer than the long-term average but not record-breaking. Recent years shattered warmth records, but 2025 offers a pause, not making the top 10. This autumn brought a mix of mild sunshine and cold snaps, ending with frost and early snow in higher regions. The contrast between recent cold and incoming mild air sets up the complex weather now unfolding. While the warming trend is clear, not every season breaks records. Natural variability remains. This autumn is a reminder. Climate change is a stepwise process, not a straight line. As we turn to winter, the westerly flow signals a mild, moist, and windy start to December. The focus now shifts to how these patterns will shape the coming weeks. Germany is bracing for a dynamic winter kickoff. Thursday night marked the start of the weather shift, as a weak warm front brought milder Atlantic air into northwest Germany. Light rain and drizzle raised temperatures above freezing in the north and west, ending the cold spell there. In central and southern uplands, cold air lingered at the surface, setting the stage for freezing rain as warm moisture moved in. Black ice quickly formed on roads and trees, especially in regions like the Eifel and Thuringian forest. Meanwhile, the far south stayed cold and dry, with hard frost and clear skies. The sharp temperature gradient, mild in the northwest, freezing in the south, set up a dramatic weather divide. This cold reservoir would play a key role as moisture advanced southward. Friday promised a day of two weather personalities depending on your location. Friday, November 28th, Germany is split between mild Atlantic air in the north and persistent cold in the south. The north and west enjoy temperatures up to 10-degree binds, with clouds and drizzle replacing recent frosts. Winds from the west keep the air mixed and mild, signaling a late autumn transition. In contrast, the south and southeast remain locked in cold, with fog and temperatures near or below zero. Only the Alps see some sun above the fog, but it stays chilly. The stark temperature contrast is striking. Hamburg is mild and damp. Munich is cold and foggy. As night falls, moisture from the north pushes into the cold southeast, setting up a dangerous overnight scenario. The battle between mild and cold is reaching its peak. As Friday night gives way to Saturday, southern and southeastern Germany brace for the most hazardous weather of this transitional period: widespread freezing rain. This isn't just a typical winter shower, it's a dangerous phenomenon that can transform the landscape in a matter of hours, coating everything in a slick, invisible layer of ice. As milder air surges in above ground that remains deeply frozen, rain falls and freezes instantly on contact. This process creates treacherous black ice, which is nearly impossible to spot until it's too late. Even a thin glaze can make roads, sidewalks, and steps extremely hazardous, catching drivers and pedestrians off guard. The highest risk zones include southeastern Bavaria, the Bavarian Forest, and the Danube riverbanks, areas where cold has been deeply entrenched for days. Here, the ground is especially unforgiving, and the threat of ice is most severe. Roads and exposed surfaces will quickly become treacherous, turning even short journeys into a serious risk. Authorities strongly advise against travel during the height of the freezing rain event, as emergency services may struggle to reach those in need. Other cold pockets, such as Upper Lusatia and parts of Saxony, are also at risk. These regions may see dangerous accumulations of ice, especially on untreated rural roads and shaded areas. Local authorities and road crews are preparing by spreading salt and grit. But even with these efforts, black ice can form faster than it can be treated, especially overnight. Freezing rain is not only a threat to travel, the weight of accumulating ice can snap tree branches and bring down power lines, leading to power outages and blocked roads. Infrastructure can be crippled in a matter of hours. Authorities urge everyone to exercise extreme caution. If you must go out, check for the latest updates, and consider delaying travel until conditions improve. Emergency services are on high alert, but response times may be delayed. The danger will persist until warmer air finally lifts temperatures above freezing. In sheltered valleys and low-lying areas, this may take several hours, prolonging the risk well into Saturday morning. While most regions should see improvement by late Saturday morning, some local hazards could linger, especially in shaded spots and sheltered valleys. This could make for a risky and slippery start to the Advent season. Stay alert for official updates and weather warnings, and take every precaution to keep yourself and your loved ones safe during this dangerous period of freezing rain. Saturday morning, the freezing rain threat fades as milder Atlantic air prevails across most of Germany. The day is dominated by thick clouds and dampness, but temperatures are unseasonably warm, up to 11 degrees in the west and southwest. Christmas market visitors will find it mild, but gray. While the southeast remains chilly and raw, just above freezing. Pockets of cold linger, a final reminder of winter's grip. By afternoon, some northern and northeastern areas may see brief sunshine as clouds break. For most, it's a mild, cloudy start to Advent, with the weather transition nearly complete. The nation moves forward under a new, milder pattern. Sunday brings renewed unsettled weather as a low-pressure system near the North Sea sends rain into western Germany. The west sees the most rain, while the east and northeast stay mostly dry but cloudy, with occasional sunny breaks. The temperature divide fades, with mild air prevailing, up to 11 degrees in some regions, though Bavaria stays slightly cooler. Winds pick up, especially along the North Sea, hinting at a more dynamic pattern ahead. The brisk westerly wind adds a chill despite the warmth. The weekend ends damp and breezy, setting the stage for a turbulent December. Any hopes for a white Christmas remain distant. The first week of December brings a dramatic meteorological standoff to Germany, as the country finds itself squeezed between two powerful weather systems. To the west, a deep and energetic Atlantic storm low churns over the UK, sending waves of moisture and wind toward the continent. Meanwhile, to the east, a stubborn and expansive Russian high-pressure system sits firmly in place, blocking the advance of milder air and keeping the skies clear and cold over much of Eastern Europe. This clash of air masses sets the stage for a week of striking contrasts across Germany. Monday dawns with a deceptive calm. Across much of Germany, The day starts dry and still, but a thick blanket of fog or low cloud lingers over many regions, especially in valleys and low-lying areas. This persistent grayness acts like a lid, trapping cold air near the ground and keeping temperatures suppressed. In some places, the fog is so dense that visibility drops to just a few meters, making for a slow and chilly start to the week. Where the sun manages to break through, it offers only modest relief. Temperatures climb into the single digits, barely reaching 7 or 8 degrees in the brightest spots. For most, though, the day remains cool and subdued, with the quiet weather hinting at the brewing changes just over the horizon. By afternoon, the atmosphere begins to shift. Dark, heavy clouds gather over the northwest as the Atlantic low finally makes its move. Rain starts to fall in places like Hamburg and Bremen, signaling the arrival of a new, wetter phase for the region. On Tuesday, the weather split becomes even more pronounced. In the west, temperatures rise rapidly, with some areas seeing the mercury climb to a surprisingly mild 13 degrees Celsius. Frequent rain showers keep the streets wet and the air feeling damp. Meanwhile, in the east and south, the Russian high holds firm. Here, the air remains dry and cold, with daytime highs struggling to reach even 5 degrees C. Frost lingers in the mornings, and the contrast between regions is stark. A so-called frontal graveyard develops over central Germany, where the advancing rain bands from the west stall and linger. This leads to persistent, sometimes heavy rainfall in the west and center, while the east remains largely untouched, basking under clear but cold skies. Satellite images reveal a sharp boundary between the cloud-laden west and the sunny, frosty east. The weather split is dramatic and unmistakable. In the west, it's wet, mild, and unsettled, with umbrellas and raincoats a daily necessity. In the east, the air is crisp and dry, and winter's chill is never far away. This east-west divide shapes daily life, from commutes to outdoor plans. By mid-week, the rainfall totals tell the story. Western regions could see an impressive 20 to 40 liters of rain per square meter, leading to swollen streams and waterlogged fields. In stark contrast, the east receives less than 5 liters, with some areas barely registering any precipitation at all. The difference is visible not just on the ground, but in the mood and rhythm of daily life. This tug-of-war between high and low pressure continues throughout the week, shaping a landscape of contrasts. As the fronts shift and the battle rages on, Germany experiences a vivid demonstration of how powerful and dynamic our atmosphere can be, reminding us that in weather, balance is often fleeting and change is always just around the corner. Looking ahead to the second Advent weekend, the jet stream is strengthening, setting the stage for possible December storms. Forecasts show a powerful Atlantic system could track toward the North Sea, putting Germany in the path of strong winds and heavy rain. The exact track is uncertain, but the risk of widespread gales, especially in the north and west, is rising. Such a storm would end the east-west weather split, bringing unsettled wet and windy conditions nationwide. Details will shift, but models agree. The westerly flow is intensifying, and storm potential is high. Meteorologists are watching the Atlantic closely. Be prepared for a turbulent start to the festive season. Stay tuned for updates as December's storms approach.